in about 3 minutes. So we have our camera turned off, but in about 3 minutes, we're going to turn that camera right on. So if you hear us talking, we're sorry.
Please make sure that you are logged into your Google Plus
Plus
account. Otherwise, you will not be able to participate in the chat feature if you have any questions. So make sure you log into Google Plus and then use the link that was provided for you to access this webinar.
Camera right on. So if you hear us talking, we're sorry. All right. Let's see here. What cell is it? This is where we're going to need to go to. Okay. All right. Okay, we're about a minute and a half out. We're turning the camera on very shortly. We're glad you're here, Juan.
Oh, good. And those of you that may be watching but do not see the chat feature, please make sure you are logged into your Google Plus account and then use this link. Otherwise, you won't be able to ask questions if you have any.
We want you to be able to ask questions. I'm getting nervous. There's like 7 people in here now.
Oh my gosh.
And we want to know who you are, so please put your name inside the chat so we can address you if you do ask a question.
Because right now, Juan Silva is the only one we see.
Yeah, it's so lonely. Oh, Oscar's with us. Hi, Oscar.
And Sophia's here. Hello, Sophia.
Hello, welcome.
I realized I just put the instructions for finding the chat feature, but if you don't already have the chat feature, you won't see them.
But you also said it.
I did say it.
Yeah, we should be okay. All right, I guess we will put the camera on us. It's the part that we dread the most, but we'll get that turned on right now. Hi.
Hi, everybody. It's good to see all of you. We're glad you decided to take a moment to join us. We would like to apologize. Meecha had planned to do this webinar, but unfortunately she had a family emergency and she was not able to be here today. So she would like to let you know that she is sorry and will probably be here for tomorrow's webinars. Anyway, what we're going to be talking about today are basically some of the questions that we've been receiving via phone over and over and over again. We've had them from several people, so we feel like several of you have the same questions. And by the way, I'm pretty sure you know that I'm Shelley Smallwood, and I'm pretty sure you know that that is Meecha Daniel. But just in case, we're going to reintroduce ourselves just for good measure. That's right. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can kind of follow along with the presentation. It's not really, well, it's kind of a presentation. It's just lots of information that Meecha wanted to make sure that we shared with you. However, if you do happen to have a question, please feel free to go ahead and add it to the chat window, and we will do our best to get to, or to answer that question as soon as possible. All right, so let me share the screen here.
Do you want me to take that so that way I can watch it?
Sure.
There we go.
There you go. Okay, we're going to just move the computers here so that Meecha can watch for any chat.
Woo.
Let me move this window out of the way because it's a little bit confusing. And here we go. And we are going to try to make this quick today so that we know that you have other things to do. And so we'll try to answer any of these questions and get you on your way as soon as possible. All right. We've had several questions about our parent meetings or the parent meetings that you all are hosting at your campuses. Parents are expected to attend a meeting before signing the student-issued device agreement. In some cases, we've had campuses asking us if parents had to come, and really for your own documentation and to cover yourself in case something happens, you won't have a parent saying, well, nobody ever told me. And so do expect all of your parents to attend a meeting before they sign the student-issued device agreement. You'll also want to plan to have makeup sessions in January for those that did not attend this month. Unfortunately, it's hard to get a hold of everybody. And so what's going to happen is you will find that in January, once the kids start taking those devices home, students are going to start that don't have them or don't have the ability to take them home are going to start annoying mom and dad and saying, hey, I want to take my laptop home. I want to do this. And so they'll start annoying them, and mom and dad are going to come in and start asking questions. So you do need to plan some makeup sessions for any parent that has not been able to attend so far. One thing, the student-issued device agreement is the same for all 3rd, 4th, and 7th grade students. It's also the same for the Parkland High School STEM students that have the one-to-one grant at that campus. And there were some questions about, whether it was a different agreement for different people or whatever. But it's the same agreement for all students. Any student that's taking a device home, one-to-one, even if it's devices that your campus is providing, it's the same agreement that students will need to sign, or parents will need to sign. Now, if a parent has one or more, or has more than one child, if a parent has let's say a 3rd grader and a 7th grader, or a 4th grader and a 7th grader, they are required to sign an agreement for each child. They can't sign one agreement and then just call it good. Now, they can only attend one session. They don't have to go to both sessions, but you do need to hear that from them. If they tell you, well, I went to the session at the middle school and I don't think I need to attend again, unless you all are adding a lot to the presentation. But so far, we haven't heard that. For the most part, campuses are pretty much using the presentation as is. So just make sure that the parent does sign an agreement for both children, or if they have more than two. Hopefully, they don't have more than two, but they might. And so make sure that there is a device agreement on file for every single child that parent has that's taking a device home. Another question we've had is, can we have parents sign paper copies? And the answer to that is no. Please do not have parents sign paper copies. There's no way for us to keep track of those in the student-issued device portal. So if you have a parent that just really has no idea how to sign, please have them come in, sit with them, let them use one of the computers at the campus, walk them through it, whatever you need to do, but please make sure they sign only the online agreements, no paper copies.
Juan is asking, we take their word for it. What about documentation as far as going to the meetings?
Okay, that's a great question. If a parent says, I went to another campus, you need to take this as a case-by-case or handle it on a case-by-case basis. But, it's kind of up to you. You can take them at their word. You can give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that they did go. Or if you want to take that extra step, then you can actually contact the campus and make sure that they really did attend the other campus. And it's going to be it shouldn't be that many parents. So you'll need to decide what's going to work best for you. Honestly, I think I would find out just to make sure they attended the other campus, just so that I know that there is somebody that has a signature saying that they attended.
We have another question. When having issues with PowerParent, who do we contact?
Issues with PowerParent. Reality, it's TIS that manages and handles PowerParent. You can contact them, which That would be Renee Armendariz. However, it's not that easy to get a hold of them. It's very difficult to get a hold of them online. So you can do call 41010 and let them know what you need. Or if you have something that's kind of urgent, you've got a parent sitting next to you and wants to be able to sign it right now, then you can contact one of us here in the Innovative Learning Department, and we will walk upstairs and see if we can find somebody for you.
Okay. You
All
don't have any
right.
other questions now, so we can continue.
All right, so here we go, on to the next slide. Okay, questions or answers about distribution. What we're recommending in January when it's time to check the devices out to students, you know that they have to be checked in first, checked in back into the campus, so they're not assigned to the teacher. And then you'll turn around and check them out to the individual students. Now, our recommendation is that you go into each classroom and do that in each classroom, because those are the students that are going to get them anyway. And I don't think it's necessary to pick up all those devices and then redistribute them. I think that would be much more work. So I would go into each classroom, I would scan them all into back to the campus, and then check them out to each individual student who has a signed agreement online. Okay?
It probably won't take very long to do that either.
No,
It
I don't
takes
think so.
about maybe 10 minutes, when you're scanning a group at a time like that. So that way you won't take too much of the teacher's time.
Exactly, because I know how precious time is,
Yes.
and so you might even be able to go in there and kind of do it while the teacher is still teaching. I don't know. You can kind of work that out with your teachers, or find a time during the day, maybe during a PE time or a conference time or something, so you don't interfere with their classroom. But we do suggest that you do it that way. We just feel like that'll be the easiest way for everybody. One thing too, students should be assigned the same device that they've been using since distribution. So if I'm a third grader or I'm a fourth grader, then I should be using the same device every day. I shouldn't be going in and getting a different device each time, especially if you're using, or if your campus has HP Streams, because every time another kid uses a different device, that adds a new profile to that device. And multiple profiles on those devices eat up a whole lot of space on that device.
Yes.
And so if you have a teacher that's not good about saying, okay, Johnny always gets number 1, Susie always gets number 2, and so forth, you may want to talk to them about that, because that can cause an issue. And that way too, if a student has a device that they've already kind of banged up and nicked and there have done some cosmetic damage, or have added cosmetic damage, I can't think of the word,
Yeah.
then they won't mind taking it home, because they're the ones that have done
That's
that.
right.
I don't want to take home somebody else's device that they've already messed up and mine was pristine, right? So make sure that the students are assigned the device that they started using from day one. All right, what do I do with parents? Okay, we have another question really quick.
What if student parent does not want to take the device home?
Okay,
You read our mind,
you did.
Ron. We're getting ready to talk about that.
That's right, you read my mind. So what do we do if a parent does not sign an agreement? One thing is, you want to sit down and have you really want to kind of talk to that parent, because that child may be at a disadvantage if they do not take a device home. There will be homework and other things that kids will be expected to do, and they will need those devices in order to be able to do it. Now, if a parent is absolutely adamant, then you need to talk to them and say, well, what are they going to use when they go home? Do you have a device already that they'll be using from home? Some of your parents do have laptops, computers, whatever, that the child will be using. And so that's fine, but you need to make sure that they know how to log into the Chrome browser and log into their Google account. Otherwise, if they try using a different browser, or they may have issues with that. So you want to make sure that they have the same experience at home that they have at school. So you'll need to kind of talk to them about that. If we did have one issue, I don't know if it's an issue, but we did have one question about a parent that had twins, and that particular parent only wanted to take one device for both children.
Oh, not smart. Not smart.
Talk to Misha. She
Oh
has
my.
twins. And I know all of you that have children, you already know that one is not going to do it
No.
because they're going to argue over it, right? And so you may want to talk to the parent about that as well. And another thing you may actually want to bring up to them is the fact that even though they don't sign a device agreement, a child can still be held responsible for the device that they use. It's just like a textbook. They have to use it. You can't deny it. But if that kid decides to, color all the pages in a textbook, then that kid is still responsible for that book. And it's the same thing with the device. If a child is not allowed to take it home but damages it at school, they will still be held responsible for that. And so you may want to let the parents know that just because they don't sign an agreement does not relieve them of the responsibility completely. So I think that's pretty much what I've said here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you do have students that that are not allowed to take devices home, make sure those devices stay in the classroom, because obviously the child still needs to have access to that device. But you want to label that device with something. Get some of those bright pink, bright yellow stickers and put it on the top of it, and put not allowed to take home or something like that. But make sure that there is something on it that stands out easily to make it easy for teachers to recognize which devices are not to leave the classroom. And along those lines, you need to think about what you're going to do if you have substitutes.
Yes.
Because if you have a substitute and there's 1 or 2 kids in that class that are not allowed to take home a device, then that substitute needs to know, needs to be aware of that. Or are you not going to let them use devices on the days that the substitute is there?
Right.
I mean, you kind of need to come up with a plan for that. So you need to kind of be thinking about that.
And I think a teacher would know that just based on the class that they have.
That's true. That's
Do
true.
we want to talk about running reports?
We do want to talk about, and I'm actually going to let Misha probably do the running reports. Just because, and I should have
already
logged
have
in
it
here. Okay. Just because she's a little more familiar with it. I've done it a few times, but I don't want to, fumble through too badly.
All right. You'll see here that I am logged into the BizWeb portal. Okay. And you're going to go ahead and go to the student issued devices, which is right here. And once you get in there, if you look over here on the left-hand side, this is where you do your device check-in and check-out. If you don't remember how to do that, remember you click in the checkout, you scan the device, and then you check it in. There's a reports right here. Under the reports, you can choose which report you want to run. Hopefully they're all in here. Oh, looks like they've added a couple more.
Oh, good.
Students' assignments and agreements, that's a report that you're going to be able to run to see who actually has signed the agreements. However, I will tell you that if you go to check out a device to a student and they don't have an agreement, or if they're not in 3rd, 4th, or 7th grade, it will not check a device out to them. They have to be eligible to receive the device in order to be even checked out. But as an extra precaution, you may want to have that copy there next to you, just in case somebody slips through the system, which can happen from time to time. We know data is not perfect, we know. So if I click on the student assignments and agreements, and then I can actually deselect some of these if I need to. I don't have to keep all of these in here. If I just want to have the student ID, the student name, and whether they have an agreement or not, I just go to the report settings, and then I deselect the ones that I don't need. Because I don't need their email, or if they're in STEM, school ID I don't need. I know the school because I'm at my campus, and has agreement, has laptop, and then with the issue date. Okay, so then now if I look here, it's going to actually show them to me. Now this is at Parkland High School. This is just the campus that I chose, because we have access to all of them. It gives me their student number, and I can actually go in here and type a student number. If I'm looking for a specific student, I can type in their name, their grade level, yes or no. If I think they have the agreement, I can go in and I can do that any number of different ways. So there are many ways to search. There are many ways to condense this data. These are very good tools. I think they did a very good job with this, getting everything
put together.
Yes, it's well done. If there are any questions, can the report be run by the teacher? You know what? I'm not sure about that one. I know that the people who had access were the librarian and the CT. So I know you're one of them that has access, but I don't think that the teachers have access to this.
No.
I think that might be
do
too many people.
Yeah. Unfortunately, teachers do not currently have access to this. One thing you might consider doing is running a report and just handing them out so that they know who has an agreement and who does not. But that might be something we might bring up to TIS and see if there's any way they can make just that feature available maybe for teachers. That might be a really good thing for them to be able to run their own report. I understand that. Yeah. But they cannot do it right now.
And I understand that they're not sorted by teacher class. However, you can go in when you're in the device checkout, and you can actually go into that particular teacher, and then you'll be able to look that way too. If I go in here and I can actually go by student or class or teacher, and actually class would be good. And then I type in the teacher's name, and I think that they're set up that way. I'm not sure exactly how the class is set up, and then it'll tell you.
Priest. I know he's at Parkland High School.
Okay.
Oops, thought about it. What happened?
You know what? Maybe I need to be under teacher to do that. We've added some stuff here to this. So it shows me his different class IDs, and it'll show me if there's actually any units in there. And I don't see any units right now. They've all been checked back in.
Right. And actually,
or they're not checked out to him.
Right. Unfortunately, at Parkland High School, this is their second year. And so they did not check any devices out to teachers. They went directly to students. Yes. But this is one way that you can get that information.
Yes. Yes. And maybe that's something that we can tell them that we'd also like them to add to the search features, is to be able to search by teacher, especially at the campus. Because I understand that you want to see how many kids in a particular class have units. I understand that. So we'll look into that.
Let me see if, no. I was just going to look at and see if, and Juan, give me the name of a teacher at your campus. That might take a moment for you to.
It's not lagging too bad.
Actually, I know one. Marti. Oh, except she doesn't teach second or third grade. I mean, third or fourth grade. So that won't help.
I think we're still on.
Sorry, we dropped the
my Wi-Fi on.
We dropped the connection. We thought we were going to lose you all. But while we Garcia. Garcia.
Okay, now we're going to have to scroll down a little bit. Find Richard Garcia. There he is.
Where?
And Richard Garcia, he has 17 in his class.
And is there a way to?
Yeah, you pull up the class. And see, these are all the ones that are checked out to. Now, those right now are checked out to the teacher.
Right.
Okay. So if I wanted to see, it's March, it's April, and I want to know how many are checked out in Mr. Garcia's class, that's where it's going to be tricky for right now, because they don't have that filter option yet. But we will be talking with TIS, and maybe we can get that done for you. But that is an excellent idea. I totally understand why that would be very valid, especially at the elementary level.
Yeah. So absolutely.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention, Juan.
All right.
Are there any other questions about the running reports or the Biz Portal? I know it's pretty easy, and we've been through this a couple of times, but we would just want to give anybody a chance to, or if you have.
So sorry, guys. I'm not sure what happened, but it appears that we got kicked out for a little while. I'm not sure if it's because we lost our Ethernet connection or what, but our Wi-Fi was still running, so that's really interesting. But hopefully we're back on and you're able to see us and hear us now. So we're going to go ahead and continue with, there we go.
Yay. Okay.
We are going to go ahead and continue with our presentation here. We finished the...
Yeah, need to get back. Share your screen.
Oh, so sorry. I haven't shared my screen because I just covered my face up. I figured you could see what I was doing. Here we go. Let's try this again. They always have the most unflattering photos there.
I know,
okay,
it's just terrible.
There we go. Now you should be able to see my screen again.
Yay.
We have completed the slide on distribution. If there are any other questions about that, please let us know and we'll do our best to answer those. All right, so repairs. This has been a big question. We've had quite a few people asking us about repairs. Warranty repairs, one thing you need to remember is those will only be available through the summer because the warranty on each of those devices is only 1 year. So if you find that you have any devices that have any hardware repairs, the keys are falling off or it doesn't charge properly or whatever it is that you may come across, what you want to do is go ahead and get that sent out for repair as quickly as possible. If you have an HP Stream, what you're going to be doing is calling HP directly, and they will send you a box, and you will send the repair on. Once you receive the box, you'll send it to them, and they will return it to you. It's usually done very quickly. We will send those procedures out here in the next couple of days. They have been completed, but we are waiting for them to be finalized.
We have a question. How soon in January can students take their devices home? I'm sorry, I don't mean to
that's okay.
Interrupt you there.
No problem, no problem. Actually, students can start taking their devices home in January as soon as you're ready for them to do so. As soon as you've got the agreements on file, you can start checking them out to students as soon as you come back. You may want to wait a few days, but basically that is up to you. Just make sure that you check it back into from the teacher to the campus and then check it out to the student. But you can go ahead and get started with that as soon as you feel comfortable doing so. Okay.
Great questions.
Yeah.
I love all these questions. It's like we're interactive.
It's like we actually have people watching us. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anyway, for the warranty repairs, if you have a warranty repair needed on the Chromebook, then what you need to do is bring it to the service and support desk, and they will call the Lenovo rep that's here in El Paso, and the rep will come to the help desk and either repair it there or take it back to his shop, repair it, and bring it back to the service and support desk. So really all you need to do is bring it to the service and support desk, drop it off, and once the repair is completed, they will give you a call and let you know when it's ready to pick up. And you can start doing that at any time. The HPs, you'll need to call HP. They will send you a box. You'll send the device off to them and they'll send it back to you. And that's usually done within a few days. When you call them, you usually get the box the next day. If you call FedEx and get it sent off that day, then sometimes the very next day you'll get the device back. So it's usually a pretty quick process. Accidental damage. If you have a screen that is damaged or broken, the charge of that or the cost for that is going to be $55. Whether it's a Stream or a Chromebook, the price will be the same. If you have one, what you'll do is you'll bring it to the service and support desk, and they will go ahead and replace the screen for you. Now, it's important to know that the campus will be charged that $55 cost. So you'll need to make sure that you hold the parent responsible for that damage. Of course, if it was done in one of the classrooms in the last couple of months and there's no clear way to say it was Johnny or Susie that did it, the campus may be responsible for one or two of those repairs. But $55 is not a huge amount, and but you do want to make sure your parents are responsible for that. Now, if there's any cosmetic damage to the device, really at the campus, you want to charge the parent at your discretion, just like you would for a textbook. If you have a kiddo that writes in a textbook or tears it or messes it up in whatever way, usually you will charge the parent a nominal fee for that. You'll do the same thing for the laptops or for the devices. It's up to you what you want to charge for it, because you really want to think of these as textbooks.
We have a question. What if the student damages the charger pin on the HP Streams? What is the process for this?
Okay, you're saying the charger pin. Is that, are you talking about the port that's in the device, or are you talking about the pin on the AC adapter? Because it would be either way, the child would, or the parents would be responsible for that. But I can tell you right now that if they damage the pin on the device itself, chances are it's tied to the logic board, and it wouldn't be cost effective to repair it. Now, if it's just the AC adapter, you can charge them for the AC adapter. That cost I do not have, but I know it'll be much less than the $55 cost for a screen. Because usually the LCD screen is like a major repair, but if they damage the pin on the actual AC adapter,
the charger,
okay, then what we'll need to do is get a cost for that, bring it to the service and support desk, and we will let you know what the cost for that repair will be, and you can share that with your parents. Okay.
Good question.
Yeah, just don't let them damage any of the ports on the device, because that's it. That's the end of it. And that's right. That logic board is tied to everything, unfortunately.
Yes.
All right. If there is any other major damage to the device itself, it's really not cost effective to repair it, and unfortunately the parent will be charged $190 for the replacement of the device.
Will that be the same for the Chromebook as for the HP Stream for the charger? I believe it will be the same process. Yes,
same process.
Yes, Oscar, it'll be the same process.
Any accidental damage will come to the service and support desk, and there they will determine if it's a screen or if it's just the AC adapter. We'll be able to give you a price for that. That's something I'll look up here. I'll try and do that tomorrow sometime, and I'll give them a cost for that. And if you want a cost for the AC adapter, before you come up here, go ahead and send me an email, and that way I'll make sure that I get that to you sometime tomorrow. Okay, any other questions?
I think we're good so far.
All right, very good. We're getting close.
Yeah, we're just a couple minutes out before we're supposed to go.
Yeah,
oh my
that's
gosh.
it. So I'm gonna have to hurry.
Yes.
I'm kidding. Okay, one thing that we are planning are parent training sessions next semester. Our office will be providing those and doing the training. We're currently working on a schedule for that, and we will be offering one training session for each learning community. Now, I believe I've got here that those sessions will be held in February, March, and April, but the majority of those are actually going to be held February and March. I'm not sure about the April date. It's still tentative, but we do want to let you know. We are contacting campuses currently to find out if they would be willing to host the parent trainings for the entire area. But you will know more about that beginning next semester. One thing, if you are hosting parent training at your campus, please let us know. We just kind of like to know what you're doing and what's happening out there. So if you wouldn't mind sending us an email regarding that, we would really appreciate it. And on to the next one. All right, teacher devices. This has been a question that we continue to receive, and unfortunately the answer remains the same. We are not there. Currently, there are no plans to refresh teacher devices. Teachers are supposed to keep the device that they currently have until it's no longer working, until it's DOA or dead, all right? Once the current device fails, then the teacher has a choice. They can bring the device in, just turn it in, and choose to bring their own device, or they can bring the device in and we can provide an HP Stream for them to use. But there is no teacher refresh on the horizon. So that's the plan that we have in place at this time. And if you have any questions about any of this, please feel free to chat in there. All right, the year 2 plans. What's going to happen after this year as far as student devices? Well, next year, 8th grade students are scheduled to receive devices. We do, however, have a budget that will actually cover about an entire grade level and a half. So we are hoping that we are able to get funding for that other half so that we can do 2 grade levels next year. But obviously that is just something that we are looking at, considering, and hoping we can make happen. But next year, 8th grade is scheduled to receive devices, but this is all dependent on board approval. And we will have to give them the pros and the cons of the initiative this year, what's gone well, what's been a challenge. Has it been cost effective? Have we lost more than you know, what we put out there? But so you know, it'll all depend on sort of all of that. But the plan right now is that 8th grade students will receive devices next year, and possibly 5th grade students if we can make that happen. One thing that we would like from you all, and we've gotten some things, but if you have any good news, any videos, any images, any cool things that are happening at your campus, please share them with us and the associate superintendents and the board members. If you like having devices at your campus, which we've gotten nothing but great feedback, honestly, it's been so rewarding this year to see how excited kids are, and even teachers, about having devices in the classroom. And so if you have any of that cool stuff, please share it with us and with the associates and the board members. And if you do have any challenges, guys, let us know.
Please.
There is no way for us to know that you're having a problem unless you tell us. And I can guarantee you that if you are having a problem, it's probably not going to resolve itself. And so you need to let us know, and we will bend over backwards to make sure that it is resolved.
Yes.
Okay? So that's basically all we've got for you today. If you do have any questions, or if you think of some after the webinar is over, feel free to send us an email, and we will do our best to get that answered and back to you as quickly as possible. And we hope you got some good information here. Share it with your colleagues, share it with anybody that asks. And we will be hosting a couple of more webinars, another one today, and I believe 2 more tomorrow. And so we should have more people joining us, but we really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much for being here today. Yes.
And you enjoy your evening, and if we don't see you, you have a great holiday.
Great holiday.
Make this the best you've ever had.
That's right.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
guys. See ya.
See ya.